Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and welcome back to another episode of my Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020 playthrough. With this Austin Peay Governors team still in the Ohio Valley Conference, and we're in the 2021-2022 season, and getting about midway through the conference schedule, and we're not looking much better. Last episode, I was just really disgusted with the team's play and didn't think that we were going to have that great of a year this year. And I think it's still probably going to be that way. Our overall record, 8-11, 2-6 in conference. Since the last episode, we opened up with two really big losses, 20-plus point losses to Tennessee Martin on the road, Tennessee State at home. And since then, we've managed to win a couple. Both at home against SIU Edwardsville and Morehead State. Had a couple of close, really the losses since that last episode outside of Eastern Kentucky. We scored 49 points on them. But we were competitive against Eastern Illinois, Belmont, and Tennessee Tech on the road. So for what it's worth, I just don't know how we're going to finish. I think at this point, if we could get close to 500, certainly if we could get over 500, I'd be happy. But to do that, we're going to have to really pour it on in these next 10 games. I think it's 10 left. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. So to finish at 500, I think we'd have to win 16. We'd have to go 8-2. No, take that back. We could go 7-3 and finish the regular season above 500, but I really don't see how that's going to be possible. So as much as I hate to admit it, because of my recruiting and because just, still learning the game, we are taking a step back this year. And it's kind of led me to think, I don't know if I want to give up on them this season. You can comment, leave your comments. I know that this has been a long series. I know it's kind of hard to keep interest in a series like this when it's the same team, but let me know in the comments what you think. I just hate to turn away from the challenge of building a team like this into another tournament team. And I think one of the commenters even mentioned as well, I think the way this game's geared, recruiting is such a big part of it, and the way the format is for recruiting in this game, I think it gets easier as you progress up the levels. So if you go from a low prestige conference to a higher prestige conference, I'm sure you're going to have a better chance of getting some of these 3 and 4 and even 5-star recruits. And so to me, that kind of takes away some of the challenge of it. I might be wrong. You're still going to have the challenge of competing with a bunch of other teams in your conference that also have 3 and 4 and 5-star recruits. I get that, but I think you're able to probably build a competitive team easier if you're at a major conference. And so, I hate to just walk away from a challenge. I don't want to throw my hands up and just move on, especially when, there are some young recruits that I have who might develop next year. I'm playing Ike King now at power forward, freshman, playing him quite a bit. After benching him for a week, I've got McMillian back in there. He's just a sophomore with some pretty decent potential at point guard. Jensen, another sophomore, shooting guard, still leading the team in scoring. So I have some guys I think who might develop for me, and I might be back to the way I was when I took over this team, where I had 5 position players who were rated. I think the lowest rated position player I had that first season was a center at 2.5 stars. The rest were 3.5, 4 stars. It was a balanced team, and I was able to go deep into the conference even. Or we won the conference championship and then won our opening game in the Final Four tournament. So I think that's what it would take to get back there. But you can see where the balance is here. It's non-existent. Our best players are small forwards, both of them. And it's hard to get Marshak the time that he needs to help a team out. He's a senior too. He's going to be gone, and I think it impacts the development if I give him too much time over, say, Jensen or a power forward or wherever I would put him. But those are just some of the things I'm thinking about as we move through the season. One of the things I wanted to mention too before we get started looking at the team and then playing out today's game, which is going to be at home against Tennessee Martin, which I may have mentioned last episode. I wanted to come back since we lost on the road against them to start the season. I wanted to see if we could beat them at home, and at least that would show some improvement for me anyway, if we could do that. But when we lose because we don't shoot. And it's just, I don't know if anybody else watching on the channel is playing out this game, but it seems really, I'm a huge baseball fan, and I'm a geek about it, so I check the numbers out a lot. I'm kind of a casual basketball fan. I enjoy college more than pro for sure, but I don't look at a lot of the stats. I mean, I know enough to know, what makes a good player stat-wise, what his numbers will look like. But for the team, what I'm seeing over and over again in these losses is we're in the 30s in field goal percentage. And that just seems way too low to be competitive. And in this one, we lost by 5 points. We make 3 more of those shots, and we're going to win. So it's just it's not a big gap between being really poor shooting and being good. Belmont, a 4-point loss, we shot 39%. And I don't even have to mention those early losses where we looked just terrible. But Eastern Illinois, a 7-point loss, we shot 45%. That was one of our better shooting games. I'm looking at Eastern Illinois. We shot over 50%. That was one of our better shooting games. They were just a little bit more of a higher scoring team. And then just to take a look at one or two more losses here. I mean, we go back way early to Eastern Kentucky, which I didn't show. This was just coming off that game that I thought was our worst game ever. This was our worst game ever. We shot 29%. So I don't know, other teams are shooting even when, we're beating them and they're shooting in their 40s. So I don't know what makes this team shoot so low. And I'm trying to figure that out. Is it the strategy that I have? I've looked here through the roster and kind of looked to make sure that our players are skilled at these different sets that I'm using. So I don't know if that's it. I mean, if I look at our best players, it's definitely going to be Jensen, outside shooter, good scorer. He's leading the team at 12.6 points. Jepson, our best rated player, another good outside shooter and decent scorer. So I don't understand why we shoot so poorly. Even with Jepson here, with his inside shooting not so great, but with his outside shooting 8 on a 10 scale, if I look at his stats, he is shooting this season field goal percentage of 38%. I mean, that seems really low for one of your best players. And it looks like he's shooting most of his, even though he's a good outside shooter, he's in the green inside. So I don't really understand what is happening here. Going back to look at Jensen, for instance, his player stats, I know he's still young, sophomore. He's not going to be a complete player yet, but he's 37% field goal shooter. That doesn't seem good enough to me. And if I look at the league leaders, this is going to look at the entire association, but let's say field goal percentage. And it's taking a lot of load. It's going through a lot of players. Yeah, I mean, you got guys, of course, in the 70s, but just let me look at just the OVC. I mean, you got guys here, above 50. I mean, these are centers for the most part, though. But here's a small forward, 14.4 points a game. Yeah, I would like to see, I think in the 40s at least would be where a good shooter needs to be. But for whatever reason, as a team, we are struggling to get out of the 30s game to game. And I guess this has been a struggle now for 2 years. So I'm hoping these guys are either going to get better or there's something off about my strategy. But if you're a player of the game and you have any input for me, leave it in the comments. I'd like to hear what you got to say about it, because it's that's the frustrating part about it, and that's what's keeping us, I think, from being competitive. Is we're geared to be an outside shooting team. We don't have the size and the depth, or we got pretty decent depth, but we just don't have the players inside to take over a game, and so we are an outside shooting team and we're not hitting the shots. So it's really frustrating. But that's I won't dive too deep into that. I'm going to do a couple things on recruiting this episode too before we get into that game, but I will take a look at a couple things before that. But let's jump into recruiting. This is where I'm at there. Still got these 3 offers out there, and honestly, outside of Morton, who's a power forward, he's the only one who's got us as his top school right now. I think he's got the potential to be a good power forward. I like his size. I like his ratings, honestly, because I think he's improving, and looks like he's having a good senior season, if that's where those numbers are coming from. But Riley, I'm still trying to build him up a little bit because we need more depth at shooting guard. But the one we really need is small forward. We're going to lose 2 guys there, and I'm trying to get 2 recruits small forward. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any guarantees with this guy. So I'll probably give him another call this week. And then I got some guys here like Caspers at center, Canty in another small forward. I'm trying to work on and get them get their interest up a little bit more. I think it's going to come down to finally just visiting these guys. I don't think that's I don't think I'm going to see anything really happen until I get to that point, and that's going to be in March. It's getting closer and closer, so that's the next contact period. I'm hoping that I can make some good pitches to these guys. Caspers is just 7th. I want to get more parent info from him as well. Bob Johnson, he's the backup option. We're currently his 3rd team. His parents went to Austin Peay, so that may play into that. Man, he's just 6'8", but 277 pounds. That's amazing. Looks like he'll be a good free throw shooter, which I like for a center. I had Holland. Well, I've still got Holland on there now as a center, and that's one of his best attributes is free throw shooting, and I think that means a lot because they're going to get some fouls inside. But today, let me see. I think the big problem I'm going to have is point guard. I do have some problems with depth there, so I've been working hard on this guy. Still haven't gotten him interested. He's more than likely he's going to be outside of our range because of he's big on academics. I mean, he's a 4.0 GPA. He's probably going to get some great offers. He's a 2-star, but I just don't have anybody else I can go with. If I look at the full recruit list, just from the Southeast, I've burned through just about every point guard that's out there. Nobody's interested. You can see these guys at the bottom all came to visit and went nowhere. And there are no players left from Tennessee that I haven't just gone through and really worked hard on. And I could go back to some of these guys just to see what I could get interest-wise, like Michael Morris. See if he is on the list. Let me see if he's got. No, he's still not interested. So that was Michael Morris. What about this guy? I mean, would he even be worth? Yeah, I mean, he has very little interest in coming to our school. He didn't have a good visit. I think point guard's going to really be just a train wreck next year. But let me go back to the interested recruits because I want to work some of these small forwards again. Greg Mann, I got that scholarship out there, but like I say, I want to see if I can get some information on his parents. See if that would help us out when we go to pitch. Nope, sorry. So go to general information. Let's talk about your parents. So money's not a problem for what it's worth. So we're in the top 3. I think, again, it's going to come down to visiting him. And I've got all of his responses in terms of the pitch. So I'd probably pitch location, try to pitch conference prestige to get him. I don't think I really need to scout him anymore. I think I've seen enough. So Kirkland, still not interested because location is a big issue from him. But this guy from Arkansas, he's really looking at playing time more than anything. So I want to get, I don't want to scout him live yet, but I want to watch some film. And I'm going to call him and see if there are any pitch areas. It's okay. Discipline's at the bottom, and then parents. Try it again. I'll have to give him a call again next week. And then Greg Mann, he was 3rd, or we were 3rd on his list. You know, just to play it safe, I'm going to try to pitch this guy a little bit more, just so I have a backup plan in case I can't get. So I think playing time. Let's see, T prestige, it's not a big concern. Conference prestige, it's not a big concern. And all right, he's got to go. That's fine. So how much information do I have on him? He didn't really. Okay, so academics is a top concern for his parents. And he came to visit, I think. Yeah, but one of the things that I don't like is it should tell you, and maybe this is something that they can do for a future version. It'd be nice if when you go over to this recruiting screen, if you've visited them or they've come to see you, it'd be nice if you could look at what their reaction was. Otherwise, I have to go into the email inbox and find his visit. And that's going to be probably, yeah, here it is. All right, so I would have to really probably pitch him live. He might be somebody I'd have to visit to get. All right, so I think we got Andy Childs. What is he like? I mean, I know location is high up. Maybe we're not too far from his school. I don't know. Watch film, dial, and get some information about his parents. Okay, so that's good to know. And I think I've got pretty decent information on his play style, so I don't think I'd have to really watch film for him, but I've already scheduled it. We'll see. I wonder if I could host him. Nope, he won't come. That's the problem I'm having too. I think I'm going to have to go to them and hope that I'm able to convince them. All right, but that's just a little bit of recruiting out of the way. Burning through the budget this year. I mean, last year I think I had in the 20s left, but it's not going to happen this year. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for this Tennessee Martin game. I'm going to sim ahead till we get there. Now, a lot of the things that since last episode. Maybe the biggest change I made is putting Ike King as the starting power forward. I was doing a little bit more mixing and matching last time, but he's not getting a full starter's minutes yet, just 20 minutes. But I think I'd like to see these two guys develop a little bit. Harriman has, I think, the better potential, and right now, his relationship's good. He wants solid minutes, though. I think eventually I'm going to have to put him more in the mix. It's just when I've seen him play, he hasn't done too well. And Laws, he's a senior, and I'm trying to give him some play time because he was actually good off the bench last year, and he's been at times, good this year off the bench. I don't want to remove him completely from the mix, but it might be time to, as we get further down the season, it's probably going to be time to give Harriman more of a look, which I think I'll do that for this game, and I'll put Harriman coming in a little bit in that second half, just because I need to get him some play time there. All right, other than that, though, McMillian, he's back in the lineup, getting 28 starter minutes. Hart is the starting center for now. But again, I think I want to get Mallet some more time because he's got the potential, really, all up and down the line defensively. Defensive rebound, even offensive rebound, defensive ability, shot blocking, stealing. Those are all rated 7 and above potential. And even his scoring is rated at potential 7. So I don't want to I don't want to lose him too much either. I think as we go further along in the season, if we're not competing the way we need to, if there's not a chance for us to get back to 500, then I'm going to start benching a lot of these seniors. I don't know if that's fair to them, I guess you'd say, but, well, I wouldn't say bench. I wouldn't out and out bench them, but I'm going to start lowering their minutes so I can give some of those other young guys some time. And Mark Cunningham off the bench has looked great lately. He struggled against Tennessee Tech, but he had a couple games there against Morehead State and Belmont where he looked pretty good. So I hate to just have his senior season be on the bench, but we'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and play Tennessee Martin. If I look at the latest here it is, scouting report on them, our coach says we still have the advantage by a lot. And it's on the bench and Jepson where we're going to have the bigger advantage. But I'm probably going to just stay with their typical outside focus, try to get the team more used to running those offensive sets I've got on the strategy side, and we'll see how it goes. They after they beat us early in the year, they've been struggling. So this is a game where if we lose, there's no hope for us. So I'm going to slow the pace down, pick up on the offensive boards. I'm going to pick up on the defensive boards, but I'm going to leave the defensive intensity a little low just to see if we can get by and outshoot them and not have to rely too much on a heavy defense. And right off the bat, it looks like we're sending him to the line, and he hits them both. So we're down 2-0. And our first basket's a three-pointer from McMillian, but we're, 1 for 2 in field goals. Jepson, I'd like to see him have a good game. He has struggled to shoot as well as, everybody else on the team. I expected him. I really thought he had a chance of being the leading scorer on the team. He's definitely the best rated player. He's a great outside shooter. He's just having some games where he's struggling. Good move, I guess, from Jensen. Draws the foul. So he hits both of his free throws. We're up 7 too early. Way too early to think that's going to mean too much. And They've got a chance for a 3-point play here. They make it. It's 7-5. Good move inside by McMillian, and he misses the layup. So we're really struggling early. Jensen, 4 points. He's the leading scorer. They throw it away. Let me see. I'm going to give Jensen some praise here early. I hope that carries him through if he takes it. So it's a 9-5 game. Another foul, and he makes the shot. So they are 4 for 4 in free throws. That's really what's hurting them. And we're in a shuffle offense right now. Nothing happened there. We're 3 for 9 in field goals. Another foul. Ivory out there. He basically comes in and fouls, and they have taken the lead, and a turnover on the other end. And McMillian, though, up to 5 points. That was an easy layup done. A 3-pointer from them. They are doing pretty good right now, but a turnover gives us the ball back. And a foul on him. It's 4-2 to team fouls. Turnover 6-2. They're out rebounding us, but not by a whole lot. All right, so we tied it up. Good shot there from Cunningham off the bench, but a 3-pointer from him. They're 2 for 5 in 3-pointers. It's an 18-16 game. Another foul. It might be time to ramp up that defensive intensity because we're not really in foul trouble right now. I'm going to give it another minute or so. So we've got the ball. I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to go up a little bit higher on the defense intensity. And we throw it away on the other end, so that didn't help. They're up by 4. That may be their biggest lead of the game. Another foul, and we're shooting 50%, but we're just not doing too good at getting plays in, I think. Big 3-pointer from Jepson. He's up to 5 points now. Good move inside from Mallet. Sorry, we take the lead, get the rebound on a miss. It's out of bounds, but it's to us. I'm gonna give the whole team praise. Trying to motivate them that way. They appreciate the praise, so let's see if that translates into better play. We've got the ball. Another foul. That's their 6th. Good play from Mallet. He's looked pretty good in limited time out there. We missed a layup. Or maybe it's a dunk. And they're still just hanging tight. It's a 1-point game. Let me turn it over. 3-point game now. And that's going to be their 7th foul, so we're going to the line. It's Cunningham. Not a great free throw shooter, but he makes them both. So we're up by 5. That's one of our biggest leads of the game. And right away, McMillian called for a foul. Another foul on him. 2 in a row. He does that. Luckily, they throw it away. Turnovers we're doing pretty good. 9-5, our favor. Jensen has been really silent this game. Got 4 points kind of early and nothing since. Jepson, his 7th point, and they throw it away. So just under 4 minutes left. We got a 7-point lead. And a foul. It's going to put Jensen on the line. He makes them both, so we're up by 9. That's our biggest lead of the game. And they tried to make it fall, couldn't do it. But that's number 3 fouls on McMillian. He's got a lot of development to go. There's no question. I think he's still probably a better overall option than Cunningham, but man, what's going on here? Cunningham called for a foul. He's having to play with McMillian on the bench, and we're at 18 fouls, so we're going to send him to the line the rest of this half. And Jensen, he's leading scorer now for us. He misses a three, but Jepsen, rebound, draws a foul. All right, so we're 8 for 8 in free throws. Pretty good. Shooting just under 50%, now at 50%. Biggest lead of the game, 11 points, but they come back and score. And Ike King turns it over. And that's going to be a foul on Marshak, just his first, but they're going to the line. And they are not missing. 10 for 10 at the free throw line. And we throw it away. So they're going to have a chance here to get close, and they do it. Makes the basket and draws the foul, and they're money at the free throw line right now. So it's going to be, if we don't watch out, a 4-point game at the half. Oh, my God. Could have been worse after that steal. So we're in danger of losing this one. Our best player, Jepsen, 9 points, 7 rebounds. He does give you a lot of rebounds. Outside of him, I tell you, Jensen, 8 points, but most of that's been at the free throw line. Ike King, not even really a factor in this game, just a couple rebounds. Hart, same, just 2 points. Our bench play is probably going to be the difference the way it's looking now. We are shooting at 50%, 8 for 8 from the line, out rebounding them 14 to 11. Turnovers 11 to 9, so we got kind of even with them. We're still going to need to focus on the outside, I think, for the way this is going. Starting off, though, I'm going to lower the intensity just a little bit so we don't get in foul trouble. To start the game, we're going to have the ball first. Easy basket up from Hart, but it's they come right back. Oh, a three-pointer from Jensen. And we're back up by 9 now. Shooting pretty good to start the half. And it's going to be a foul, but not a shooting foul. And we throw it away. Turnovers are getting really close now. 10 for us, 11 for them. 12 for them now. And 11 to 12, we turn it over with a travel. So it's a 7-point game. We can't pull away from them. And now it's a 4-point game. Big three-pointer from him. Jepsen comes back to score a nice one. And we keep turning it over. So do they. 13 to 11 now in turnovers, but our shooting is good. 19 for 36. Just a 6-point game, now an 8-point game. That was a layup. I think that may have been Ike King who scored that one. And he's called for the foul. So an 8-point game. Who's looking good? Jepsen. Going to motivate him. After some of the... I hesitate to scream because that's backfired on me a little bit. So, oh man, those second-point chances there. 6-point game. And Cunningham fouls right away. And it's a 4-point game. And one thing I've noticed, too, this game gets really choppy. It's a 2-point game. This game gets really choppy in the second half. I think there's a memory thing that might be going on. And we just threw it away, so they've got a chance here of taking the lead. Luckily, we get it back, but we can't hit it right now. And they've tied us. It's kind of a back and forth battle going on here. It's tied still at 54. Good move there from Jensen. 13 points for him now. It's out of bounds to Tennessee Martin. Now I'm going to have to just show some concern here, We've been leading the whole game, and I hate to see, we've had several games like this. We lead the whole game, and they come back and put it away at the end. So Hart's going to go to the line, but he is a terrible free throw shooter. He misses both of them. That's one of the things I don't like, putting him out there starting too much, because that's definitely a liability. I tell you, I'm not liking where this is going right now. Jepson misses the shot. He's going to go to the line. He's not a solid free throw shooter either. Luckily, he makes them both, but we're just up by 2 points. And I don't want to start fouling. Oh, my gosh. I don't want to improve the intensity. I think I'm going to have to. I don't think I'm going to have much choice here because we're not in foul trouble yet. But they've been hitting their free throws, and it's 3-point game after that. 3-pointer from Harriman off the bench. All right, Mallet misses a shot, draws the foul. Where is he at? I'm going to give Harriman some praise for that shot. But and here's the thing. He may miss this one, but that's the thing about Mallet. He's a better free throw shooter. So I think if he plays to his potential eventually, he's going to be a better player than any centers I have on the team. So out of bounds to Tennessee Martin. They will not go away. And Jepson, he's going to go to the line again. And he misses 1 of 2. We're up by 4. And this is a problem with this team. We just cannot put a team like this away. And the first season, we would just have huge games against, when we won 20-something games that year. It was rare a team like this would play us close. And this year, it's in conference, there's no team that we're not struggling with. Even the teams we're beating, we're barely beating them in some cases. And they're just going to send us to the line, looks like, at this point. They're up to 7 fouls. It's just a 4-point game. We've got to somehow get some turnovers and, get some fast breaks or something to get some distance on them. We're just throwing up those 3-pointers and not hitting them. And it's still a 2-point game. A turnover here, and they're going to have a chance to, take the lead. McMillion's looking good now after that. After foul trouble. They're not taken to the praise for what it's worth. And man, they are doing that baseline stuff over and over and over again against us. I don't know what's making us so weak there. Big 3-pointer there from Jepson. But look at that. Back and forth. They're 50% shooting with a few more attempts than we have. And this one's more than likely going to go down to the wire. I don't see us pulling away from it. He misses the shot. He's going to go to the line. He misses it. First miss tonight on the free throws. So we're up by 4. We need a good series here. Jepson, he may be a safe one to foul, honestly. But he makes them both, puts him up to 21 points, up by 6. And a foul. Gosh darn it. I'm going to lower the intensity a little bit. See if they can miss here. All right, out of bounds to us. So we're 6 points up. We got the ball. I think they're probably going to start fouling a little bit more. And nope, fast deflected out of bounds. Just over a minute left. Oh, big 3-pointer. That may do it. McMillion, in my opinion, could be the player of the game, even though he doesn't have, a lot of assists. He has made some big baskets the second half. And I'm going to motivate him again. That's I need to see him take charge like that. All right, so it's coming down to, we got a 9-point lead. I'm going to go full court a little bit here. And looks like they didn't use it. And I think that's gonna do it. But that score is not going to show how close this one was, really. Oh, good rebound there, but he couldn't put it back. and they turn it over. 30 seconds left, a 10-point game, and Jensen throws it away. Man, could you not just hold on to the ball? So let's just see what we're going to do playing regularly. Oh, a three-pointer from McMillian to end it. So a double-digit win, but it's really not closer than it looks. But that was a good way. Now that's the thing I want to see from this team, though, is us pulling away when we need to. So in conference, even though Tennessee Martin's, we'll look at the standings and I'll show you, but they're not the best team in the conference. We've always played well against them. But this is probably our best game so far in conference this year. If you look at individually, Jepson, he's going to get player of the game, double-double, 21 rebounds, or 21 points, 10 rebounds. But I really like the way McMillian took charge at the end of the game, scoring-wise anyway. I mean, 4 for 7 three-pointers, 18 points. Jensen had a decent game as well, 15 points. And after that, I mean, Cunningham looking good off the bench, 6 assists. That's the kind of play I always wanted to see from him last year, but didn't. He never gave me, I mean, this line from him, because of McMillian's foul trouble, he played 22 minutes. He does get some time at shooting guard, too, on the depth chart. But 6 assists, 10 points, plus 8. Had I seen this from him more consistently last year, he would be the starter this year. I would let this guy be the senior and be the leader of the team. He just never really gave me that consistently. So he's looking better off the bench. Other than him, I mean, Mallet looked good. I think it is time to maybe try to give him more minutes. Holland struggled in this one. Shooting-wise, best shooting performance I've seen in a while, 29 of 55, and 20 of 24 on the free throw line, so that's good. They out-rebounded us, though, 27-24. I wish we could really get more consistent with that. Turnovers were close, but they had more than we did, and then we didn't get into too much foul trouble. So a good win. It did what I hoped it would do. Which is, at this point, put us a little bit above the bottom feeders in this conference. Looks like there were some big upsets here, too. Jacksonville State over Eastern Illinois. And then SIU Edwardsville over Belmont. So it may have just been the week where we were due a win. Looking at the standings now, that puts us with 3 wins in conference, tied with Tennessee Martin, Eastern Illinois, but we're 9-11 overall, and 9 games left. I mean, there's no way we're going to go on a streak and win them all, but we're playing so much better at home, and we've got 5 games left at home, but the end game is going to be against Belmont. I mean, if we win 5 of those games, that would be great. Or if we win 4 at home and maybe got one of these wins against SIU Edwardsville or Moorhead, to give us 5 more wins to finish 8-10 in the conference. That would put us right at 500. As poor of a goal as that is, I mean, that would be about as good as I think we're going to expect. But at least we did have a good game there, and I'm happy to see that. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, if you're still with me in this episode, just if you have any suggestions of how to improve this team or what you'd like to see, anything like that, let me know in the comments. And I'll probably keep playing. I might play out the season until we get to Belmont offline. That might be the best way to handle it. Hopefully we'll be competitive enough that Belmont game will mean something when I come back. Or we might go up against, one of these 2 games, I guess, at the end is probably what will be the next episode. But I appreciate your support on the channel, and I will see you next episode.